Welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mitch and Ann.
And welcome to the Hollywood Persona Podcast. My name is Mitch, and I am not here with Ant. Ant is on the road. He's in his new job, trucking around America, and so I'm here with the lovely Florence. Florence, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? Hi,
I'm
everybody.
good. Yeah, hi everyone. I don't know, we'll have some people jump in on live, but I didn't really advertise well enough because all my Instagrams have been taken down again. This is the second time in 2 weeks.
I see Forrest. Hi, hi,
Forrest,
hi.
hi Forrest. So today we're gonna talk about Final Destination 5, which is really exciting because we have history with the Final Destination series now. We're going to talk about Thunderbolts, and we're each going to talk about our own movie and our thoughts on it. But so stay surprised for that. Forrest says, "Wow, you're so pretty."
Oh, thank you.
So Florence, how have you been? Like, I'm really excited to talk. Okay, I'll spoil it. I'm talking about Rust, and it's the movie that had the fatal shooting with the camera operator in 2021. Alec Baldwin went to court for it. So I'm kind of interested to pick your brain since you are a lawyer, and I know you do family law, but still, I know you are a lawyer, so you know a lot more than me.
I've actually done criminal cases, and a big part of my practice is criminal appeals. So
Oh, okay.
after a conviction, written, I don't even know how many appeals, hundreds and hundreds.
Wow. And then you went to Universal yesterday, or?
I did. When was I there? Tuesday. So this is Friday. I was there Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been in years. Well, actually, I've only been to the Florida one, so I guess I haven't been to the California, Los Angeles one that you went to. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to any of the Florida theme parks. I've only been to the California ones.
I'm sure you're not missing anything.
Florida, I hear, is so humid, so I've kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah. That'll be Canada in a few weeks. Very, very humid. So I just wanted to talk box office quickly at the beginning. Last weekend was the May 2/4 weekend. So, but Final Destination Bloodlines came in number one with 51 million, which is really good for a rated R horror film.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Thunderbolts was still at the number 2 spot. And Sinners is still at number 3. Have you seen Sinners?
I have. That's one of my favorite movies of the year, probably in the top two or three. After I saw that movie, I wanted to party. I wanted to dance.
Right? Go to like a juke or like a barn like that and just dance. And
Mhm.
it was
I was
just,
like dying to just go back to New Orleans and
I,
down to Frenchman Street and start dancing.
it's amazing movie. I don't know if there's a movie right now that could top it for me that I've seen, but yeah,
Yeah, I loved everything about it. I'm still
everything.
amazed that Michael B. Jordan is not two people because the characters were two totally distinct people to me. How they would pass a cigarette to each other, their interaction with each other, and had such distinct personalities. Amazing. Maybe an Oscar nom?
I was hoping that, and for a second, I was like, I thought I was almost going to borderline say something racist because Michael B. Jordan, the other guy looked like Michael B. Jordan, and I didn't know he played brothers going into it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, why does this guy look so much like Michael B. Jordan's character? And I'm like, oh my God, they're both Michael B. Jordan. I thought people were gonna be, oh, you think every black guy looks like Michael B. Jordan? No, it was Michael B. Jordan. So it really threw me for a loop. I was 25 minutes, 30 minutes into the movie before I realized
Oh,
that
wow.
they were
And
both.
the young guy, the preacher's son, was outstanding. I
Yeah,
read up a little bit on him, and I feel bad that I can't remember his name. He's only 20 years old. I'm like, he's a baby. And that voice and the singing, oh,
very deep.
it was just amazing.
Miles Catton is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, his first role, really. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening a lot to that song where it's like him and her. It's like Last Time I Saw the Sun. I love that one. But yeah, no, he was incredible. Yeah, so that is kind of the box office for that long weekend. Obviously, it had 4 days, so Final Destination making 51.6 million is quite a bit, but it's already raked in 124 million worldwide. So that is very good. It's only been out like a week. Um,
I wonder if it'll be the one that grosses the most out of that franchise.
I'm wondering that too. I'll have to look into that because I know it's already beaten records as being like one of the highest rated R. It probably would have beaten more records if it wasn't for Sinners being rated R because Sinners has blown up and been one of the biggest rated R horror movies.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're doing good for horror this year.
We are.
Yeah, so I guess we will jump in to Final Destination Bloodlines. So I don't know how much to say about the plot. Because I didn't know going into it like that it was going to be what it was. I figured with Bloodlines it was going to be. I thought it was going to be about past characters and like maybe passing it on, but this movie is completely different. Obviously, this is the sixth movie in the Final Destination franchise, and there's college girl played by I have her name right here. I'm sorry, Caitlin Santa Juana, and I've never seen her before, but I found all the cast to be pretty good here for not knowing many of them.
I did
And
too. I was
yeah,
a fan of the two brothers and sister, the cousins. I thought they
mhm.
were all really, really funny.
They were like annoying enough, but not too annoying, kind of like they were people you almost hate to hang out with, but they were really funny at times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have
So
a bazillion cousins, so maybe that's why I like glommed onto those characters.
yeah. No, I at first I was like, oh, these are gonna be caricatures. I'm gonna really hate them. And no, it worked out. So Stephanie is having dreams. She's in college. It's affecting her college career because she's having all these dreams about people dying in horrible ways. And she comes to find out that death is now coming for her family because death tried to get her grandmother um, in the 50s, I think, late 50s.
I would say, you know what? I was having a hard time with the timeline because I'm like, okay, everybody looks early 60s, but they keep talking 50 years ago, which is the mid 70s.
Oh,
So the their years weren't right. Like the people were dressed like they were like 1962 or 63. But if you're
no.
saying 50 years ago, and they
Yeah.
probably had to do it because otherwise the grandmother would have been like way way old.
Yeah.
So otherwise that makes it the 70s, but the people were not dressed like people from the 70s and the cars weren't from the
No.
70s.
So it says 60s here, but so I'm guessing late 60s. And the people looked they looked fresh. It didn't seem like dated. They didn't film it in that way either, so it just kind of felt very new. I really couldn't put a
Mhm.
handle on the timeline. So that is the opening scene, and I don't want to give anything really about that because I didn't see anything about that in the trailers. I don't know if you saw any of the trailers.
Did mostly I would see the one with the barbecue. And I think there was a trailer that showed some of the opening scene, which is
Okay.
kind of a disappointment because it would have been nice to have just seen that very fresh.
Yeah, because it was not what I expected. And it being the timeline it was in, being the 60s, you're immediately thinking, okay, well, this is brand new for this franchise to be doing something like this. Yeah. So, anyway, so obviously it does kind of follow the same, steps as the other movies. They are, oh, apparently I'm very quiet. Sorry. I don't know if that's any better.
You do sound better. How
What's
is
that?
that, Forrest?
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good. I can fix it in post. But yeah, so it kind of follows the same, timeline or fit as the other ones, but it's kind of new enough. So essentially, she goes around to her family. She tells her family that they all going to die, and they don't believe her essentially. But as people are being picked off one by one, people start to believe her, and I guess I'll just leave it at that. So, what did you think about Final Destination 6?
I really liked it. It might be my favorite Final Destination. They did something, I felt like it was written by someone who is a fan of the franchise. And it was new enough that there was a lot of surprises with it, but also was true to the Final Destination lore. So really liked it. And I thought that we just did the watch along with the
Good.
Film Vault and just rewatched Final Destination 5. And when we rewatched it, I really didn't remember much of it. And I thought, well, the reason I didn't is because that movie to me is so forgettable. It just was basically a retread of all the other ones they did. At the end, they tried to do something like a little bit fun, like a little bit of a twist. But
Yeah, and I liked
otherwise,
that.
yeah, I did. I like that too. But the cast wasn't anything special. Particularly like the main guy's girlfriend, she almost seemed like she was in a different movie or didn't want to be in the movie. Like she was just like going through the motions.
Sorry, I don't know which there. That's louder. I don't know. Apparently, I'm still quiet, but um, that it's so funny. We did the watch along for Final Destination 5 because I remembered absolutely nothing, and it was that girl that was funny, and then just the hanging around in the paper company and them drinking and all this stuff. It was kind of a like not very exciting movie.
No, it wasn't. And the guy had two jobs, and you're like, why? Like, why do we care that he has two jobs? Like, why aren't we just focused on one job? It was weird.
It was very weird, and so I was glad to jump into this movie where they made it fresh but gave fans what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us Final Destination fans are in the same boat. I think I've seen some hardcore fans that say, "Oh, like why would they do this? It's kind of a silly, plot line." But I mean, the whole franchise is kind of silly. So
Right.
why are we, why are we splitting hairs now? And the
Did
deaths.
you walk around so I saw it twice. I saw it I saw it Saturday and then I saw it on Monday. And when I saw it Monday, I saw it in 4D. So I was in a seat that moved. So every time there was like a car ride or something, the seat like lifted
Oh my
up or
gosh.
forward. And then every time there was blood splatter, it shot people in the face with water. Or at least I hope it was water.
No. Yeah. You're
And
walking out all
then
red.
yeah. So that was fun, and I liked seeing it both times. It was, like sometimes if you see a movie right away, and the reason I saw it the second time was my daughter was with me and she didn't see it the first time, and we wanted to go see a movie, and it happened to be in 4D, and so I'm like, okay, that would be a really fun thing to do.
Can't bring soup to that though. I wouldn't want to.
No, I
No.
didn't. No,
No.
I might
Did
have
you the
splashed.
Yeah. Did you the first time when you
I
went?
did. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
did.
bring? What kind
I
of soup?
brought mushroom bisque.
Okay. All right. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was. Soups are always vegetarian because I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, right. Okay. So, and then we get to see our last on-screen presence of Tony Todd in this
Mm-hmm.
movie, and it almost brought a tear to my eye. It was very poignant. Apparently, his last few seconds on screen, he was kind of allowed what he was saying. He was allowed to kind of riff and say whatever he wanted to the
Oh,
audience,
really?
and that's what he chose to say. And it's something about death, and I'll leave it for anyone to see it. But I've seen it floating around, and the director finally told everyone that he got to he's very skinny in this movie.
Oh,
He's
it was heartbreaking. I think if I wouldn't have known that it was Tony Todd, I wouldn't have known it was Tony Todd. Like, he did not look like himself. Like, it broke my heart.
Yeah, it did. And I love the Candyman movie and this and everything. So, but it was good to see him. He also, I'm not spoiling anything, but he also tells us, and I don't know if you remember this, that there are two survivors from past movies. He drops that in there that only one person has survived from past movies, but that would also mean that another person survived. I read a whole thing about it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so just for big fans of the series, watch out for that, and maybe Florence. I don't know if you know. I could just tell you after, but it's For me, I'm a nerd, so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, and then I looked it up after. And
Hey,
so,
Forrest is asking about the soup, so I'm going to explain it really quick. Every once in a while, Forrest, I'm on the Film Vault podcast. And one time when I was on it, I told them my secret, which is I sneak soup into movies. And I've had a name for it that I've named it since the first day I did it. It's called Soup in a Movie. And I've done this I've introduced it to my friends and we've done it. And I told the film guys about it and they always ask me about it, like what soups I pair with movies. And so I basically sneak it into a movie. Sometimes I get to go, sometimes I make the soup. I sneak it in my movie bag because I always bring blankets because I'm cold. And the soup is at the bottom of my movie bag. And then I eat soup during a movie, and it's delightful because movies are always so cold, and it's the perfect food to eat because you don't have like a big paper like where you're opening a sandwich. You don't, you just have a spoon. You can kind of have it right next to your mouth. So that's soup in a movie.
yeah, I think we're gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. And you know what? You've made me a little bit more brazen to bring things into movies now because I was always like, oh my gosh, they're gonna rip it out of my bag and scream at me and never allow me to come back. And now it's like, I even just sneak a coffee in like this because I have a little theater here and they don't like have coffee and they don't usually care. But how did you feel about the deaths in the movie where like there's one in a hospital
Mm-hmm.
that goes on for quite a while and it is kind of unbelievable that nobody had caught on to what was going on before. But I mean, it was still a really funny death. I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely have to suspend your disbelief on this movie. My sister, I saw it the first time I saw it, I saw it with my sister-in-law, and she kept turning to me and saying things like, that MRI machine would turn off.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like any doctor or nurse was probably like, but this movie does a lot of the good things where there's cop outs and you see the vending machine and you think it's gonna fall over, but then it's something else.
Yeah.
And there's a whole
Yeah, I
part with it.
like that. Anderson was
Me too.
saying that totally stressed him out, but I really liked it, like sort of being on the edge of my seat with that. And it was, sometimes this is going to sound weird for me for liking horror so much, but I don't really like to see people die in movies because it makes me sad. No matter
Yeah.
how they die, but there's some ways that people die in movies that make you really, really sad. And this, I don't, it's more comedy. So
Yeah.
it's, a little bit more palatable. And I always tell myself the same thing I always told my kids when I would show my kids horror movies. And I would be like, this is pretend. They yell cut and the people move on and they're fine. And that's how it's always got me past horror movies because that does make me sad. They don't scare me, they actually make me sad a little bit.
I agree. I saw Until Dawn. I don't know if you saw that one.
Did
Yeah,
see that.
and I didn't hate it, but it was a little bit forgettable. But
Agreed.
those those characters, I found I really felt for them by the end because of the way the story kind of builds it. With this one, you're right, it is a little more comedy, and like they are being. This isn't like torture porn, like with your Saw or something. I love
Right.
Saw, but I mean, this
Me
isn't
too.
like. Usually, it's a splat and the person's dead. It's not
Right.
usually. Sometimes it's a big whole thing, and there's kind of a cop out in this movie where you think someone died, but then you find out later they're alive. I thought
That
that
was
was going to be
fun. That was
that
really fun.
it was. I thought that was going to be a dream sequence because then they're alive later, and I'm like, what's going on? We just saw this
Hmm.
person die. I probably shouldn't say anymore. We probably talked enough about it. But out of 5 stars, what do you? I'm like 4 on this one. I had 4.5.
Me too. Yeah, I'm for as well.
I'm really, really happy with this, and with the money it's making, I wouldn't mind a couple more. I mean, yeah,
I do. There was new life in the franchise with this movie where
for
it
sure.
was getting a little bit stale.
Yeah, exactly. And they were just doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm glad graphics have gotten a little bit better.
Yeah.
I
You
did
know,
also read.
what I was going to say was, to me, the most memorable killing sequence in Final Destination was in 2 with the cars and the logs. And they brought the logs in like multiple times in the movie. And
Multiple times.
I'm like, okay, we are not the only ones who feel that way. That must be a fan favorite.
Yeah. And I think with that Final Destination 2 is probably right on the level of this one with being my favorite. Like, and I still remember like almost all of those kills from the second one. I could probably pile them out. And that road scene, there wasn't a lot of special effects. It was a lot of like it seemed like real cars and real explosions. And I think it just really impacted all of us. And they were even doing the advertising on trucks. They would put fake logs on the top, like a fake log thing, and then put Final Destination Bloodlines coming out.
Oh, yeah. My daughter told me she saw that. When we were in LA, we saw a Final Destination Bloodlines giant billboard in West Hollywood. So half of the billboard was like it was a completed Final Destination billboard. The other half was white and had 2 fake construction workers, like actual like dummies of construction workers, like hanging, like they had died doing the billboard. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if it fooled anybody. Like if they called 911 or something.
I've heard of people doing that over like a Christmas decorations, because people used to like have like a guy hanging from like Christmas lights, but not the head, but like the leg, and he was told to take it down. Forrest, fun fact: I'm terrified of horror movies, and the second time I ever got to hang out with Mitch after my grandfather's funeral, I got talked into watching Final Destination 2, and I still have nightmares about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what movie gave me nightmares for years was the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw that movie when I was 12 on Christmas Eve because everyone went to a Christmas party and I had the stomach flu and my mom rented Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
Oh
And
my
I had
gosh.
nightmares for years.
Oh man, the one that gave me nightmares for years was The Sixth Sense. I was very young. My buddy's friend parents. I was at a sleepover and they were watching it, and I kind of came in the room and sat down, and I shouldn't have. And I'll never forget the scene where the guy's like, "Here, let me show you my dad's gun," and then he turns around and the back of his head's like all blown out, right? Because like, and I was like, I think 10 or 11, and I was just like, my mom called the parents the next day and yelled at them because like, my son shouldn't be watching that kind of stuff. It was my fault. We are going to talk about Thunderbolts. It's been a little while since it came out, about 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. This is the new Marvel, like Brian and Anderson like to say. This is just the new Marvel. And it stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Lewis Pullman, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, the son of Kurt Russell, Hannah John something. Sorry, she plays Ava Starr. Hannah John Keyman. She plays Ghost, and I really liked her, so that's why I wanted to make sure I got her name right. And yeah, that's about it. And it follows. So I'm a Marvel nerd, and I'll just quickly say that this movie kind of follows the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show and the Black Widow movie.
Right.
So, because Yelena, she was in the Black Widow movie as well as her dad, Red Guardian, in this movie. Yelena is essentially our new Black Widow. She went through the same training that Natasha Romanoff did, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's character. So they have both gone through the same training. And then we've got Bucky. We've got U.S. Marshal, played by Wyatt Russell, and he is kind of our fake Captain America. In the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, he was given the shield instead of oh man, the guy who used to be Falcon.
Instead of
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm like totally blanking.
Me too.
It's
Sam? No.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam Wilson, and but he was Falcon, and now he's Captain America. But in the show, they felt like he wasn't the one who should have it. I think it was the show kind of touches a lot on race, and it was really interesting. So this movie kind of gives you all that background a little bit in like little snippets.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost character that I said I liked, she was from 2.
Right.
And the Taskmaster character she's like kind of the 6th character. She is from the Black Widow movie. So it's this group of ragtag people who somehow come together thanks to Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character. She's got a very long name, something Vanetta or something. And Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is
Right.
her character's name.
Day Fontaine, she made sure they
Day.
said, don't
Yeah.
forget the day.
Yeah. So she's kind of our new like Nick Fury almost, but
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
kind of got a bad side to her. So yeah, anyways, so it's basically superheroes running around, but I just gave you the nerdy little background on it because for people wondering if they are going to haven't seen it or they're waiting to see it at home, those are some things you can watch. I would definitely say watch Black Widow because there's 3 characters in here that you meet in the movie Black Widow, and it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Yeah, people should go out and see Thunderbolts. It's good.
Yeah, I'll just jump right to that. I apologize for the lengthy start, but you enjoyed Thunderbolts.
I did. Okay, so I am a huge Marvel fan. I have seen every Marvel movie. The
Okay.
TV shows, I'm a little deficient on. I did see the Captain America Winter Soldier one or Falcon and
Okay.
Winter Soldier, whatever the name of it was.
Oh,
So I
so you
did
did.
see that one, and I've seen all the movies. There's a few recent shows where I've just fallen away
I
from.
Have you seen WandaVision?
I have seen WandaVision.
Okay. The only other show that I would highly recommend is Agatha All Along.
Oh, I saw that one too.
Okay, good. I really love that one. I mean, the other ones I don't think I saw any. Or
I
I mean, I've
really like
seen them. But
She-Hulk. I like surprisingly She-Hulk, and luckily Giovanni got me back to it because the first couple episodes I was like meh, like I wasn't really that into it, and it really kicks in like episode 3 and 4 and has like the funniest walk of shame of all time. Like I like really like that show, and then
no.
it was a little bit helpful for seeing the new Captain America, which I did see too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because that new Captain America, you kind of had to have seen the original Hulk movie
Right.
with
William Hurt,
yes,
who
and
was
Eric.
deceased, and so it was the Eric Bana one. So Harrison Ford took over for William Hurt because William Hurt had died.
Yeah,
And they actually, not in a disrespectful way, but make some comments like how Harrison Ford looks different.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
the character looks different, and I think there's some sort of quip like he shaved his mustache or something, when obviously it's a different,
Yeah, I do remember that. He said, "My daughter made me get rid of the duck mustache or something." Or
right,
no, they told me if I didn't get rid of the mustache, I would lose the presidential race.
right.
Anyways,
You know what I'm really mad about that movie? That they told you, and this isn't a spoiler because they've like thrown it all over there. They told you Red Hulk was in it.
yeah,
They didn't need to tell everyone that Red Hulk was in it.
and it
That
just
would have been a fun reveal.
exactly because the movie treats it like a surprise, and if your movie is
Mhm.
treating something like a surprise, but we already know it, then it's more just frustrating for the viewer. It's like
Yeah,
we could have just got more Red Hulk instead of the little bit at the end that we've all seen in the trailers.
yeah.
But I think my favorite part of that movie was Harrison Ford and his kind of journey. It was very interesting. I know we're getting off topic, but I also I'm a She-Hulk fan as well.
Mhm.
I found it very funny.
I
And
love that She-Hulk is a lawyer. Like I've
which
always loved that.
of course, I hope we see her again. But
Yeah.
like some people were just mad, some boys. So Thunderbolts, what did you love and what didn't?
I loved everything. I don't think there was anything that I didn't love with it. One of the things with sometimes the superhero movies is that I get a little bit of fatigue on fight scenes,
Yeah.
where fight scenes just go on and on and on. And I've noticed in recent movies, like a good example is Deadpool, where they do fight scenes and they make them hilarious, or they make them really quick, or they make them so different that you're looking at something different for the first time. And so in this movie, so the villain, I mean, if anyone's a villain, it's probably Julie Louis Dreyfus,
Yeah, yeah,
like the villain.
yeah.
And then Lewis Pullman's character, I mean, kind of the villain. It's someone they need to overcome,
Hmm.
but it's also not his fault, like what's
Yeah.
going on. And so he's having some issues that he can't help. And they basically, the battle is helping him through his issues,
Hmm.
not just beating him to a pulp.
Yeah.
And so that to me, I really liked. The whole movie, I mean, it had a lot of good humor in it, but then it had parts that were really heartfelt and it did a good dance with it.
It
I
did.
was really a fan. And you stuck around till the after credit scenes, right?
Yeah, I did.
Hmm.
That was really exciting, and that's obviously I'm really excited for. I was excited for Thunderbolts. I always was, and some people were down on it, and they all think the Marvel universe is done. But I don't know. The next little bit of what we have, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, and I think we've got some good ones now. So,
The Avengers Doomsday, I'm like really
yeah,
excited about that.
me too. Me too. And I like, yeah. So I loved Thunderbolts quite a bit. It's kind of the first Marvel movie that I've really wanted to go back and see it again because I love Yelena, Florence Pugh's character. I think
Mhm.
Florence Pugh just rocks the screen whenever she's on it.
Oh, she does. And I love that she's bringing back the name Florence, where a young girl has the name.
Oh my God, I didn't even put those together.
English girls still are called Florence. In America, not so much.
Not so much. Why didn't I put that together? Jeez. I love her, and I think everybody did a really good job. And my only, I guess, if I would say, thing was that the humor fell flat sometimes for me. With the
Hmm.
Red Guardian character, I think he was a really good addition to the team and the movie because he brought on that added like jovial, you
Sure.
know.
He had like more levity. Yeah, I get what you're saying because maybe at times it was like his humor was like a little too big, like it
Yeah.
didn't fit the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
It fell a little flat, but I mean, the emotional stuff for me, like I have bipolar, and I really felt that, like him kind of with the two sides, with the
Yes.
Sentry character with Lewis Pullman. So that had me a little emotional there, and it only got more emotional from there on. I wasn't like crying at all, really, but like I really felt it in my heart, and I really felt for these characters, and I enjoyed it all. And yeah, so I really enjoyed this, and I hope we get more Thunderbolts.
Me too. My sister-in-law, I bring up my sister-in-law a lot. My sister-in-law is my husband's sister, and I spend so much more time with her than my husband does. And so we see a lot of movies together. She didn't go see it. I saw this on Mother's Day with my daughter, and she didn't, and my sister-in-law didn't see it because she kept calling it a Suicide Squad ripoff. And I said, no. I'm like, this is much different than that. Suicide Squad is a very different vibe. These are not people who are like going in there with the anticipation that they're going to die. They're more like they all have their own thing that they're doing. They're free
Yeah.
agents and then they're brought together basically by self-preservation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It felt very different to me. And seeing both movies and seeing both Suicide Squads, and I'm even a fan of both Suicide Squads, but it's a totally different vibe to me. It's not the same movie.
Yeah, I know, totally. I think I thought that as well beforehand. I thought they were going for the same vibe, but these movies are always just a little bit more grounded than some of the DC stuff, you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
especially James Gunn's Suicide Squad, where it was just so much comedy.
Hmm.
Fine, but which I love that movie, but it was just so much a comedy and a little bit out there and stuff. This one had some dark moments, and you really feel every character kind of come together, and they all have their little pasts and history and like the strings, and you
Oh,
can
sure.
feel it, and and it works as a good team. So
Yeah, if I was going to compare a movie to Suicide Squad, I would almost compare the Deadpool movies to it, where it was like a lot more comedy, a lot more blood, a lot more violence. So it just felt like two totally different movies to me. And all movies, like, and all these movies are all things that I enjoy.
me too. How do you feel? Last question, and then we'll move on. How do you feel about them revealing what the movie is actually called? They've
Hmm.
revealed it like in like
The
advertising
actors.
now. No, like advertising and stuff now. They're calling it that movie. You think they should like? I understand what they're doing because they want people to go see it.
Right. I don't know. I like surprises.
Me
I
too.
think they should have kept it under their hat a little bit more because the end scene was very fun going through the curtain and what we saw. So, and then we really got to compare Julia Louis-Dreyfus to the Nick Fury character. And so, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I like surprises more.
me too.
I think that, I mean, that's something they should have held on to as we got closer to maybe the next two movies. So that's
Yeah.
me saying it without saying it.
Or like wait till it's out on Blu-ray and maybe put it
Right.
on on, you know what I mean? I don't
Sure.
know. Anyways, and then that last, definitely stick around for the final end credit scene because it's really cool, and you get more Bob, and Bob is the best part of this movie, I think.
Yeah, he really was. Bob was the
Yeah,
best. Sweet, and you really felt for him, and
for sure.
he broke my heart, and
Yeah,
he just was. You know what's funny? Until he went blonde, I did not realize who he was.
right.
And when he came out with the blonde hair, I'm like, oh, he's a Pullman. Like for sure, he had exactly his dad's face.
Oh, really? You saw? Yeah, I didn't. I knew, like, I know I like Lewis Pullman.
Hmm.
He was in Top Gun Maverick. He's
Right.
been in, yeah, Bad Times at the El Royale. But I forgot he was Bill Pullman's son, so I
Yeah.
didn't even put that together. But now I'm looking at his face, and 100%, you see it in the
Yeah.
forehead and the eyebrows.
I'm sure.
Um,
I love all these Nepo babies, all these
I do too.
young guys who are, and even the young girls too, who have the famous parents. Some of their roles are my favorite roles, like Ray Nicholson. I am like loving his work.
Who's Ray Nicholson?
He's Jack Nicholson's son, and he was my favorite part of Smile 2. He was in this movie that I loved that no one has seen that came out this year called Borderline. He's the bad guy in Novocaine, which I still haven't seen. I didn't know Ray Nicholson was in it, otherwise I would have saw it at the movies. But Novocaine is out on Paramount Plus this weekend, so I'm going to watch it this weekend.
Okay, I gotta watch this Borderline. I watch anything Samara Weaving's in too. So, and I know who he is from Smile too now.
Oh,
So yeah,
please watch Borderline
I
and
will.
text me immediately
I
because
will.
no one has seen this movie. I basically wandered into a movie theater in New Orleans that was playing it, and I was like, oh, a movie with Ray Nicholson? I don't care what it is. I'm going to see it. I absolutely loved it. Have never heard of it again. I don't see it like come up. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. I'm dying for someone else to see it.
I'm pretty sure Ant has seen it, but I'll ask him. And I see Eric Dean's in it.
Yeah.
Um, you hear he just got diagnosed with ALS.
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
leukemia.
I know.
Um,
He looks
so
really good in the movie. Maybe his health is pretty good.
I've seen him like even recently. They were when it was announced they were posting like the most recent photos, and he still looks pretty good. So hopefully his health stays well enough where yeah, it's a crappy disease.
Yeah, it is for sure. My uncle had it. So prayers and good vibes to Eric
Yeah.
Dane's way.
So you're gonna talk about Babygirl,
I am.
which Ant saw, and he had his thoughts, and then I just kind of skipped it. But
It's worth a watch.
okay,
Watch it. It's on Max. It's a 2024, basically, it's a 2024 movie, basically called a erotic thriller. I probably would call it more of a drama than anything else. Stars Nicole Kidman, Harris Dickinson, Antonio Banderas, Sophie Wilde from Talk to Me, and a handful of other people. Directed by Helena Rajin. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly. Um, and so Nicole Kidman plays a high-powered CEO, similar to like maybe a Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, but female. And she looks like she has a perfect marriage with Antonio Banderas, but she has a kink, and she explores her kink mainly through pornography. So it is graphic sexually. And Harris Dickinson is a intern at her company, and he picks up on it pretty quickly, like what she wants or what she needs. And they start having an affair, and he's the dominant one in the affair. It's not the best movie you've ever seen, but it is very watchable. Nicole Kidman is amazing in it. Even though had a lot of sex scenes in it, to me it was kind of an unsexy movie because what she was into I didn't find appealing. And so in a way Harris Dickinson almost seemed mean to her. So I'm like I wouldn't want someone to be mean to me. But the cinematography was incredible. It was filmed beautifully. There's this nightclub scene with these flashing lights, and it's just amazing. And there's some hotel scenes which are just shot so differently. Like, I just really, really loved watching this movie. And it has an ending that, in a way, is kind of fun. So when I was watching the movie, when I was coming down to like maybe the last 15 or 20 minutes, you kind of have a feeling of where it's going. Like it's going to have a disaster type ending. But the ending has like a bit of a fun twist. And she says and when she's talking to someone in the end, and she says one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard, and just really loved how like her attitude in it, like she like really owned it. So I don't want to say too much about it because I do think people would be very pleasantly surprised by this. And so people should watch it. It's on Max. It's a little bit less than 2 hours, and people will really enjoy it.
I'm in this weird crossroads where Nicole Kidman is one of my favorite actors working today, and Harris Dickinson, Dickinson, yeah, is one of the hottest actors working today for me. But I don't think I need to see Nicole Kidman that way. You know what I mean? I love her so much and I respect her so much, and so I've kind of shied away from it in a way, but like
she's not a victim.
Okay.
And they do it really well with letting you know that what they're doing is consensual.
Okay. All right.
And so they're both into it. Like, not a person is being abused. Although, if anyone was, ostensibly, it's Harris Dickinson because he's an underling of Nicole Kidman. So you kind of have that from like an ethical perspective. Obviously, she should not be having an affair with someone who works for her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a good movie. You can understand why she is seduced by Harris Dickinson. He's you know what movie I thought about when I watched this? The Power of the Dog. Because remember the young guy who was very seductive towards Benedict Cumberbatch? So that I thought was the more analogous character with Harris Dickinson, like very like young and seductive. So I thought of that movie while I was watching this movie. Totally different, like in terms of endings and sort of thing, but I thought of those characters together.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I am going to watch it at some point. I love Nicole Kidman. Like, this is her 18th film with a female director. She like a few years ago vowed to work with every female director she could. So for the last 18 movies, it's been a female director. So I really applaud her for that because that's what we need, and she really put her money where her mouth is. So I should watch it.
You should. You'll like it too.
I will.
It seems like more of a slog than it is, or it seems a little depressing. It's really not. You'll like it. And it has good music in it too, if you can believe it.
Yeah, no, that's good. There's been a few good soundtracks recently, so
Mhm.
I'll give it a shot. Well, if you don't have to run, I just want to talk about Rust really quick.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm good. I'm all
Okay,
yours.
so perfect. So Rust is a American Western film. It's come out this year, essentially. It started filming in 2021, and this was a passion project for Alec Baldwin. He helped produce it and write it, and he was really excited about it. And then after um, a few weeks or a month or so into the production, cinematographer Helena Hutchins was shot and killed when a live round was like discharged from a prop gun that Alec Baldwin was holding. Like they were shooting a scene or trying a scene out, like how they were gonna shoot it, and the gun went off, but actually had live ammo in it and killed the cinematographer. And so Baldwin has been in court like several times for this, for involuntary manslaughter, or that's not the right term, is it?
I think that's what he was
Yeah,
charged with.
and but as well as the prop director, she was on the stand as well. And so I before we get into the movie, I'll just say to me, it sounds like the prop director. Well, she was charged, and she took 18 months in jail and a big fine. And apparently, she has a history of being reckless on set. She kind of did the same thing on a movie called The Old Way with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but
No. Mm-mm.
so and Baldwin, you could tell he just felt awful about this. And I like Alec Baldwin. I know
I do too.
he's had his issues over the year. I like him as years. I like him as an actor. Anyway, so I know he was charged, but then it was dropped.
I think it was dismissed with prejudice, so I don't think they can bring it back. There was something to do with the evidence. The prosecutor didn't supply all the evidence, and then the defense found out about it, and they filed a motion, and it was dismissed. And when it's dismissed with prejudice, they cannot bring the charges ever again.
Okay. Oh, I did not know that. And I don't know. There seemed to be a lot of people like just saying that it was him. And anyways, like he was not going to. He said, "No, we're not finishing this movie, whatever." And it was Helena's husband who said, "In her memory, you need to finish this movie. You need to do it." And so the director and everybody came back after like 18 months or like 2 years or something, and they continued shooting the movie. And all the money proceeds to the film went to her son. So I thought,
It's like something as good as you can make it is
yeah,
coming out of it.
the movie I would say unfortunately is a little bit if you like westerns, I think it'll scratch that itch, but it's kind of a little bit been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the director we needed a more, what's the word, seasoned director than I feel like there was some awkwardness and maybe it had something to do with the awkward shooting and everything, but the movie felt like outdated, like a lot of the script was a lot of lines that like if you had to write a western in 20 minutes, like a lot of the lines you would use, like that you'd heard in other western movies.
Oh, sure. Like almost if you had AI write it, where it was kind of trite.
Right, exactly. And you're hearing these things and you're like, gosh, I've heard this in 100 westerns. So it's a little cheesy. The best part is Alec Baldwin. He essentially, we don't know the connection, but he comes and he rescues this little boy who's going to be hung because he accidentally killed a man. He was going to try to kill a wolf that was trying to eat their livestock, and it was just him and his little brother. They're just living on their own in the West, and he accidentally kills a man and they sentence him to hang. And Alec Baldwin rides into town a few days later before he's hung and kills a lot of people and takes him, on the like away to try to save him. And you don't know why. This also stars Josh Hopkins, who I thought was really good in this, and Travis Fimmel from Vikings, who I meant, and he's really good in this. Sorry.
Hmm.
And Frances Fisher, you would know her. She's in this as well. Titanic. She played the mother in Titanic. That's
Oh,
how
sure. Yeah.
how I knew her. Red hair. So yeah, so I don't know if you're a Western fan. Like
You
this,
know,
is it? I find like when it's done well, and like those are the ones we hear about,
mhm.
and then they're really good, like No Country or which isn't not really a Western, but but yeah, this one I think just take it or leave it. But if you're a fan, you should watch it. But yeah, yeah.
Maybe
So
clean one day or something.
yeah, it's definitely like a Sunday evening, rainy day kind of thing, But
If my dad comes by, I'll put it on.
yeah, yeah, I gave it 2 stars. I wish it was better for all the people, especially with her passing away and stuff. It's
Yeah,
but anyways, that is Rust. And then you were gonna just tell us about what is coming out of this weekend. It's a big weekend.
it is.
I don't know which
One
of these you're
second.
gonna see. I
Uh,
can do it if you want.
oh no, I got it up.
Okay.
So we have the movie Friendship going in wide release. Lilo and Stitch live. So Friendship is with Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. And for the people who also listen to the Film Vault, they did a spoiler on it, which I haven't listened to because I wanted to see this movie. And I guess it's like a comedy with a little bit of drama. The live action Lilo and Stitch comes out, which I am incredibly unexcited for.
I didn't know if maybe that was like some sort of soft spot or something. You never know, right?
Yeah, my middle daughter is the world's biggest Lilo and Stitch fan, and I haven't even talked to her about this if she's going to. Oh my gosh, sorry.
It's okay if you have to take it or.
No, 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 no. It's totally fine. She's the biggest Lilo and Stitch fan. We haven't even talked about this one coming out, so I don't know. I'm not opposed to live action Disney films. And I was fine. I mean, I don't even know if you would call The Lion King like live action.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was okay. I haven't seen Snow White. I thought the Cinderella one was all right. Beauty and the Beast might have been my favorite one.
Yeah.
They're kind of whatever.
Yeah, I think The Lion King might be my favorite, but I'm not really um head over tails for really any of them. But how old's your daughter then?
Oh, that daughter is 26.
26. So I'm 35. So but like I was kind of a little older when Lilo and Stitch came out, but I do have a soft spot for it, and I think so I don't know. I think I'll go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other movie, which is, I guess you would call the big, big, big release, is the Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Uh-huh.
And I'm excited for it.
Me too.
I want to see how it ends. Tom Cruise is always super fun in these movies. These movies are fun. When I see it, I am hoping that the audience that I see it with is not as dumb as the audience that I saw the last Mission Impossible with. The audience that I saw the last one with, every little kind of trope from Mission Impossible, like Tom Cruise tearing off the rubber mask, they would stand and applaud and cheer, and I thought I was going to lose my mind.
Wow, that was like Top Gun Maverick for me, but not that bad. Not like that.
It made for a very long movie. I was like, what is wrong with the audience? I don't know. Sometimes it happened during Sinners too, where the people around you really wanted you to know they were enjoying the movie. So they started putting on their own performance. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a new TikTok thing or
It's
something.
it's definitely probably like I know the Minecraft movie obviously has been kind of that, and I think it might have been Anderson or somebody was saying that it's like they almost don't want to discourage that because it's getting people to the movies and they're excited about it and stuff.
Right.
But us people who have been movie fans for years are
Yeah.
kind of baffled by it because it's like shit, sit down and shut up. Like, why
Right.
do you stand up and clap in your house? I don't.
Yeah, I
But
know. I know.
yeah,
It feels like more performance to me. And
yeah,
people who applaud at the end of a movie, that's like baffling to me. And, laugh, talk to the person next to you, say to your friend how much you're enjoying it. Be scared, jump, let your popcorn fly. Like, if any of that's happening, I do not have a problem with you. But this thing where they're like, "Hey, I'm here to be seen," is a little bit weird. And I know this. I'm going to mention one more movie, which I know isn't next weekend, but I'm so excited for it, which is Bring Her Back, which is coming out the 30th, which is by the same people who made Talk to Me. And I think the script is pretty much under wraps. And probably right when we get off, I'm going to look at the preview for this because I was just talking about it with Avery and he said the preview looked amazing. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be surprised.
It's funny. I know Aunt brought this up because we both loved Talk to Me, and when I saw the poster here, I was like, "But that poster looks really cool." So I'll definitely see it. Yeah. So thank you for putting that on my radar. I find my radar has gotten so much smaller these days. But anyways, I'm excited about Mission Impossible as well. And with that last one, I found some people they didn't understand what because they brought the AI into it. Some people were a little, I don't know. But I love the last one. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was a super big fan of it.
So anyways, where can people find you, Florence, if they want?
If you need any legal assistance in Arizona, come to bruemmerlaw.com. I still have the Bonafide Legal Podcast, and I hope to record this weekend because this will be my 7th year doing it. But I know some people who know me, and I know you know this, Mitch, like my brother's been sick, and I take care of him. So I haven't been great about doing the podcast recently, but I hope to catch up this weekend and do give an update on what I've been up to. And it's a podcast where I give tips on sort of living your best life, like time management and wellness tips. And it's really me talking to myself because I need these to make sure that I'm taking care of myself so I can keep working.
And I love it because I've kind of always wanted to do the same thing. I always kind of when I think of something that I want to start doing, I kind of think about myself like that, like the way you're doing it, like talking to myself, like I should do this because, in a way so that I can kind of make myself remember that I should start doing this to make myself feel better or time wise and stuff. So
It's important. You have to take care of yourself to take care of other people in your life and to take care of work or whatever you're doing. And if you don't have a system for it, you need a system for it, just like anything else. Like your procedures at work, it's the same thing. And the whole reason that I started it, I had 10 years where I had no time management skills at all. I had 10 years where I didn't take a vacation and 10 years where I didn't go to the doctor, didn't go to the doctor, you know? And I was like, okay, I need to get serious about taking care of myself.
good for you. Wow, I understand how, you can get like that, and especially when your career is something you've really worked hard for, like you did as a lawyer, and you put your blood, sweat, and tears into every single minute. But wow, 10 years, that's a lot. But
Yeah,
good
it
for you.
was.
I mean, yeah. So Florence, I just want to thank you, Aunt, if you're listening, we miss you.
Yeah, Aunt, we miss you.
Yeah, safe travels. He did message me one time. He was like 2 hours away from like my house. He shared his location with me, and and I was like, wanted to just jump over the border. I've never met him in real life, right? So one day I will do
Yeah,
that.
one day. That would have been great. And
Yeah.
it's so funny because you've never met him in real life, and I've met him in He became my tour guide when I went to Atlanta for the first time. And I just wanted to just go to the theater that he worked at and say hello to him. And we had lunch and we went to 2 movies. It was great. He's a really fun guy.
And I get I don't know. I'd be so awkward at first, I find. I can be very outgoing, but at first I'd be like, well, I don't know if Florence wants to see a movie with me. I don't know. Hey, Florence, do you want to see a movie? I don't know. We don't have to. I'm kind of that. I'm so wishy-washy. We can do whatever you want. So I was like, when you guys did that, I was like so happy. It was just made my life so happy. So, anyways, thank you everyone for listening. You can find us on Well, not right now on Instagram and Facebook, but we are on there. You can watch us on YouTube. This goes live to YouTube every week. Anyways, so thank you, Florence.
Of
Um,
course.
that was
Thanks,
really,
everybody.
yeah. We will talk soon.
All
Okay,
right, sounds good.
that is stop.